Tikulandireni kulikonse kumene mukutionera madzulo wano. Ndine Brian Banda ndi programu inanso sabata ino ya Times Exclusive. Amatipatsira programu imene ya Times Exclusive ndi Rainbow Paints.
Wow, I think K-Peach looks amazing on the door.
The electric blue cuts it for me.
Come on, look at the tango, candy pink, burnt orange, okay, sweet lime.
Do you like what you see? You can dream it and live it. Download your Rainbow app today and begin the magic of transforming your home into a fabulous space. Rainbow Paints. Peace of mind. Part of the deal.
Mlendo wanga madzulo wano ndi olemekezeka bambo Yeremiah Chihana, phungu wa nyumba ya malamulo kumpoto kwa mboma la Mzimba North. Honorable Chihana, tikuyamikeni kwambiri pokhala nanu madzulo wano.
Thank you.
Kodi inuyo ndinu ndani?
Ineyo ndine Yeremiah Chihana. I'm a land economist. I'm also napanga masters in business administration. Kama Chancellor College napanga mathematics, physics, electronics. I graduate 1989. Napita ku University of Reading ku United Kingdom.
Okay.
Napita ku Maastricht School of Management ku Netherlands napanga MBA.
Okay.
I'm a chartered member of the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. Yes, and I have worked for Minister of Lands. As an employee.
Quantitative
10 years.
Ku Minister of Lands.
Yes.
Ku Lilongwe.
Yes.
Ndiye kuti mudziyamba ndale?
Ndale nayamba by default. Simina kuti ndiyambe ndale. Koma poti masatira angu anga late chakufa Tom Chihana.
Okay.
By default siya profession ndiyamba kukhanga ndikusatira za ndale. Koma I'm a professional surveyor, I'm a land economist. I should have been pursuing that course of work in my career, but I have joined politics by default.
Ndiye zidali zovuta bwanji nthawi nkuti muli mboma mukugwira ntchito ku Minister of Lands?
Ndichokera ku Netherlands nagwira pa ntchito nthawi yochepa kena kwa Dr. Bagiri Muluza nandipanga board member wa Malawi Development Corporation MDC. Then akhala ngati board member wa MDC mayanga naso Sunbed Hotels Mpiko mayanga naso Air Malawi nazanga naso project panopo build Jamuli MRA which was supposed to be a hotel. When mayanga na makampani angapo, some of them were being liquidated. Mayanga na makampani angapo. Mapanga so now I think is a joint project majors and the share equity, Sunbed, stock exchange. So I also participated in the initial public offering of Sunbed Hotel under MDC.
Ena mati nthawi imene titalandira democracy ndi pamene we missed it in terms of development. Ngati dziko tinagulitsa makampani zinthu zinambosono. Do you believe in that story? Yes or no,
it really depends what course or path you have tried to undertake. Malawi entered into a proper structural adjustment programs from 1979. Well, from 1971, 1970 up to 1979. I think we had a 5-year rolling program. Then we ended up with a 10-year rolling program, which was from 1987 to 1996. And that 10-year program, structural adjustment program, was put to a challenge because within the same period, democracy was introduced. And the path of structural adjustment program, the 10-year program, I think was missed completely. In 1997, we started with the Vision 2020. But the structural adjustment programs, I think we missed 2 or 3 things in the program, which Dr. Banda was implementing. we had the human capacity development program, which we missed in the earlier years because
from 1994.
From 1994, we missed the 10-year structural adjustment program, which had started from 1987 to 1996. We missed that because both when we were following the democratic process, we did not follow the pattern of the structural adjustment program, which was supposed to be implemented within the 10 years. That was very, very important. If we had undertaken that capacity development structural adjustment program, it would have been, Malawi would have been a very different country. Yes.
Now, what was the best we could have done?
The best that we could have done?
Yeah.
It's a difficult question. Should I say would have preferred to go the route of democracy? Yes. I think the most important thing from the last structural adjustment programs which were being implemented in Malawi were following the path of consultants, and most of the people who were coming to Malawi were foreign consultants. And when we were moving from that period in the 10-year program, when we were trying to do capacity development, so that most of the positions should be taken by the locals, we embraced the principle, but we had problems because the consultants who came here, if they are working anywhere, were paying for their houses, so their workers, their laborers, and the wage which was going to the consultants did not meet the requirements to be paid to the local expertise or the local Malawians who are taking over the jobs. Now you will find that the wage bill which the government took over from the consultants or the advisors or technical advisors into the civil service, Malawian civil service, we inherited a wage bill that we could not sustain because the consultants were assuming that they are working here, they will go back, but we absorbed that into the Malawian local economy. Yeah. Even a Malawian, when he started working, he also wanted to get the same salary, the same wage bill, the same services for watchman, worker, house worker, the same way the consultant was getting, he should also be paid the same way. But the productive capacity of a consultant and a local Malawian, they were far at par. They could not match the output.
So should we therefore blame the coming in of democracy, that it is the one that lowered our expectations and standards?
I think the aging of Dr. Banda, but I think we had some problems with Dr. Banda as the leader, but the aging of Dr. Banda, I think, had a problem. The succession plan of Dr. Banda was not in place, and the Maji Party, when it came into place, we did not have a proper direction what we wanted to do. But we could have taken one or two challenges which were coming with the structural adjustment programs, which Malawi could have continued on the same path, but we did not follow that path. Then we ended up with a statement, because Vision 2020 was not a program. It was just a statement of intent, which did not really bring in the economic realization of Malawi where it should go.
Munadzapezekanso mnyuzi pa nkhani ya chuma cha bingu.
Yes.
Chidachitika nchani?
Ndanena kuti ine I'm a chartered surveyor. I'm a registered surveyor with the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. I worked with the Ministry of Lands as a valuer, in the profession as a land economist. So generally when mundu akamwalira boma alimatengapo timati stamp duty. Okay. Ndai zina mati estate duty. Ndi estate duty imakanga di transfer fee ya kuchoka kwa munthu omwalira ngati katundu anali mzina lake kupita kwa anthu osala. Okay. Ndi kuti zinthu ziyende timaona kuti munthu asiya ngongole za mtundu bwanji, asiya chuma cha mtundu bwanji, asiya makampani, asiya chane ndicha, ndi zinthu zija timaziwerengera ndikuzika mmalo mwake kuti katundu uyu ndiye wamwini wake, anali ndi mashares, stocks, anali ndi plant and machinery. Zonsezo timaziwerengera kuti boma liziwe kuti katundu amene asiya masiye ndi wamtundu wanji, apite kwa ndani, and timazilongosola. Koma momwemonso timaonanso ngati anali ma trust and private and public, timachitaso distinguish which one should be assessed. Timaona chonchi, then boma limaikapo 1% or 1.5% ya stamp duty, imene imapita kuboma koma boma limaonesa kuti katundu chakhale protected kuti apite mwa ana or mwa abale ake imene analembera mwini wake Wiro.
So Abingo anali ndi Wiro?
Anali ndi Wiro.
Ndipo nakhanga tipali kusamvana chidachitika nchani?
Ndayi zina pamapanga za estate duty zimakhala bound kuti pakhale kusavana makamaka zakhala kupanga zinthu za ma-politicians.
Okay.
Chifukwa sitifuna kuti nthawi zina chifukwa during the surviving stage like my president amakhala ndi freedom yoti akhale ndi malo kuti estimate freehold land yoti salipira msonkho. Those are my benefits awo.
Yeah.
Koma ma assets which zimene ali nazo muzina lawo when they are carrying over to the succession amaina ulipira the stamp duty kuti amene akupanga inherit katundu ichayo aziwe kuti ndi ndani boma lichite stamp ndi kuchita register kuti panopa kupanga administer ndi hotel ndi nthawi zambiri mmene alembedwera Wiro ife sitinena kuti katundu chapite kwa hotel ife timangolemba kuti katundu ndi hotel ndi kwa registrar ndamene amapanga decide kuti katundu yapite kwa hotel. Ndipo panga nthawi zambiri amafuna kuti anthu ambiri amafuna kuti zikhale private koma ukakhala kuti ndiwe politician zimakhala bound kuti zituluke m'manyuzi kuti katundu wa munthu hotel ndi hotel makamaka Bingo tamagwira ntchito ku United Nations anagwirapo ntchito ndi uzakhalanso president aliyense amafuna kuti avese kuti Bingo anasiya chani ndi chani.
So panalibe kukangana kwene kuli konse?
Kukangana za kufamily ayi za kwa ife ya boma natipanga appointed kuti I think nali 11 companies amene tinapanga tender.
Yeah.
Koma ntchito ya DCSS ndanena kuti I'm a professional valwa and school yanga yambiri ndi economics ndi state panga ntchito ngati yomwe. So kwa ineyo panalibe vuto koma kwa anthu ena amaona ngati pamakhala ma suspicions koma the way
kuti mabisa.
No, quite if we were open. About profession, you cannot hide. This is the most transparent of our profession. And my conditions, I mean, my bank evaluations, I'm also very, very transparent. Because we look at both liabilities and the minimum community often Katunda Zaga with the Nenga to Kwa Kanga to Ganga or Kulima vote, is also Kaza. Quite fair to my bank report by registrar. They were reported by registrar to the Katunda or Guana Hotel.
Yeah, because there was like Kusambana on the amount.
And over so Makanga maybe some basis as amount. Or mass so Ngane go quite fair definition ya private trust and public trust. When the men as a candidate vote, for being on the private trust, the public trust, as in a business trust, my educational institutions. So when those things come into play, and they don't want them to pay because they're public trust. But when it's a private trust which has been properly defined, you normally don't pay. But if it has been defined as a public trust, again it must be valued. It's a borderline which you must take as a value to make a properly informed judgment which trust are you taking on board as part of the ownership.
Ndino phungu wa chipani cha Ford.
Yes.
Chimene chili mbali ya tonse government.
Yes.
Koma ukhala ngati kuti malivinitsa bomali. Mmakhala ngati munthu wovuta. Vuto lanu njani? Chihana.
And akhozanena kuti ndino munthu wovuta koma ine ndagwira ntchito mboma minister wanga nthawi imeneyo anali Dr. Banda. And the same as also to do Dr. Banda, that was our minister, and my controller was Karuru Mapiri. So when we were just like cry, Peter what Dr. Banda, the morning that is interesting normal. Never know the amount could area sense of Goli, could not graduate Dr. Banda. The morning that in Shiroyanga Ekuru, then we shall transfer knowledge, meaning up to the Dr. Banda. This is how that you bring support.
Dr. Banda Gagamuzu?
Yes.
Okay. And
Minister of Department Alliance.
Okay.
Under OPC.
Okay.
And many Magura Chirogo, Situmona Bush in the church in what is into Usosa, Masoda, HCC, George in a carriage. They made Magura and time in the Yoyo, the men who Pangras of Vano, Sindicona Bochachilendo. And the Chiminishima Wood and Yotai Zina, Umakara ahead of times, wouldn't agree upon Chiton Boma, and be Capilla San Agreement Chiton Boma and Carafia Pongo. In a professional, ndenga tupanga za ndale. That's not my real career. My real career is openness and transparency. Yeah, professional evaluation. So as an economist, ndaizambi to hide zintu zimavuta kwambiri. Ndibwino kunena chilungamo, saka ndi zikagona ndichani mukuye kuti sunanene chilungamo.
So muli mu afford imene ili mbali ya boma kapena muchita zanu?
Afford ili mbali ya boma fine. Koma sinaona agreement imene anasainira president afford ndi mbali ya boma kuti anagwirizana chani chifukwa afford ili mbali ya boma koma alibe mpanduli wonse ka kuma board ndingomvapo munthu mmoja ali ku India amene anampanga pa point I think David Ambassador koma afford
ndalame
ndani chupa koma afford ngaipoemba ponali ndekazi member of parliament sina khalepo consulted kuti tupanga izizi azathu MCP apanga izizi koma nawo zaso kuti zimene mupanga izizi pamgwirizano mu I think my president Yeremiah Chihana said no, we're going for Tonse Alliance. Now that simple imene mpita nayo pa Tonse Alliance ikala simple ya ntondo anje audia tipita pa Tonse Alliance koma tipita ndi simple ya MCP to game ya MCP to say ino
munazo
nazo the game ya MCP mo mapeleka game kwa MCP koma poti mufunisira kuti zinthu zisinthe tiyeni koma game iyi mapeleka kwa MCP kwa simple imene mukapeka pa ballot paper ndi ya MCP. Vice President akhandi simbo yaje ayomwe ya MCP pali mgwirizano ntondo wanje agwirizana nawo ma principles ati musa nene inagwirapo chito ndi Dr. Banda zoti akupanga mgwirizano wakuseri sindikhulupirira ndiye tikufika kuti sopano
unani mgwirizano wakuseri
chifukwa kuti Malawi samauziwa pakali panopo sakuziwa pali mgwirizano kungoziwa kuti president ndi Chakwera wa MCP. That was a big mistake. And the registration ya mgwirizano in fact in the long term my president asamapange mgwirizano kusei kumbali ndikuzapanga regret at a later stage azigwirizana to so
you think there is a regret now
kwambiri all of them is a big regret
including afford
makaso afford ndi it is worse
afford is regretting kuti munapanga mgwirizano ndi Tonse
kwambiri upanga regret kwambiri chwa palibe chimina angane
is this the concern ya party president
ngati party president sakunena ndizaye koma ine ndine member of parliament ndikuimira anthu I'm elected
okay
ndiye nakunena zinthu zoti
so my question is Chihana anakuuzani kuti akuchita regret
asogolera nthawi zambiri sanena
okay so za regret is kuchokera kuti
inezo kuchokera kwa ine ngati phungu wa afford amene poyamba nali ndeka palopotira awiri ine ndupanga regret kuti tinalowa mgwirizano osazindikira zimene tikufuna osagwirizana in advance kuti mupanga chani sina kupangane bino
sana sainulane afford ndi
inangosaina kuti witness koma zimene zinali ngati samaziziwa anongopanga izozo kukamuzi institute la kupanga witness ma document koma zimene anasainana mchampaka panopo sanatiuza kuti anasainana chani chimene ine inapita mti commitment yose disabise ya chwa president ndiuziwa national kuti si munthu oti wachilendo ya
Chakwera
ndiuziwa national kwambiri
okay
kufanga ndiyamati ndizibisa ndizinakuisa chwa ndani kuti magrupira za chilungamo
yes
na grupira ngati munthu wa Mulungu ndiuziwana nawo koma mugwirizano sindinaone sindikuziwa andi mukhoza udabo mongofusa izo zokha ngati panali ni phungu or chipani chimene chinali very committed kumgwirizano osauziwa one of them phungu wake anali ineyo chifukwa tinafika pa stage yoti tiyena kupanga ma decisions za ziko and ineyo na party yathu tinagwira ntchito makamaka kuti tipange set date inachokera kwa ife ya afford kuti mpaka tivomerezane ndi zimene anapanga court tipange plan tilowe parliament tikapange decision yoti date ya pa 23 ipangidwe phungu wake anali ineyo sizinali za pafupi yayi kuchoka paja tinanya utangomaliza date ya ngupangidwa ndi first deputy speaker anali bwino IDBB I think sana group kuti zipangidwa koma zinadusa ndithokozeso I think honorable Chingoma naso I think anazazindikira tupanga izizi titapanga zija mazuru ake nakwera gari moto uthamanga kupita ku electoral commission kupanga gazeti titapanga gazeti kubwera Friday kupeza kuti ndalama palibe nakhalaso pasi ndi sustain kwenge tipanga bwanji tinayuza parliament orders kuchita someone honorable Mwanamveka, Minister of Finance, you must release 10 billion. Electoral Commission atanena kuti ndi kungolizo sayamba. We need at least, we have not been funded for the whole year. We need at least a minimum of $10 billion to have the elections be held, fresh elections.
10 million.
10 billion. No, sorry, 10 billion kwacha.
Oh, 10 billion kwacha.
Yes, to pay my debts and whatever. With someone, and I think it was a meeting of 5.
And
I was part of that.
Okay.
From there, there's someone governor, there's someone chief chunda, and I'll go PC, I think time in and I wear mama chief secretary. Tita Kangana Mwanamveka na bwera mochedwa use parliamentary orders to summon him, but he was very obliged and abwera mansanga. Hata bwera na karo parliament paka 6 o'clock. Titokozeso governor Kabambe. Itapanga decision Kabambe na pita kwa nauti ndipanga release. Early in the morning, I think that was Friday, 6 o'clock. Electoral Commission was funded 10 billion. He released the money. And that was a very good agreement. Amatalimba check for analysis accountant general, I think Mandara didn't check. No, this is not time for checks. It's electronic transfer. And they obliged. They had Analipira Electoral Commission. They started to dispatching, making payments on Saturday. Kabambe, I think he authorized I don't know what he did, electronically transferred the money 10 billion to the Electoral Commission. That was not enough. Buzafika up on Monday, Tuesday, we had another crisis. Things were not working, and I think Linda Gunje and another, I'll still remember the lady, and we have a crisis of Magalimoto, Tipanga Bwanji. Fortunately, UNDP, they came up, they said, no, Magalimoto will provide. So by Monday, we were almost on course. And then I think, same time, I think we had some challenges in my ballot papers. They came back.
Ku parliament?
Yeah. No, they came back to parliament, they came back to me personally. I moved the date for 23 for election to be held on 23 June. Okay. They came back that no, we have a problem. You need, I think we made for parliament again. I think it is sustained. It says date, this is difficult. Can we shift the date to 28? I think the chief elections officer now in the meeting crossroads, then he quickly actually told them that the elections cannot be held on 23. We need to shift them to 28. He said, no, the person who moved the date in parliament is the one who should also alter the date to 28. So they came to me, and I just said, no, the challenges are big. I cannot go back to parliament. One, I'm not the speaker. Two, I cannot convene parliament to go and change the date. This is not an easy task. Obviously, it's not manageable. So we have managed to release the 10 billion. What else is the challenge? No, ballot papers may not arise, whatever. I said, but you have paid them. Work on the timetable of 2030. Otherwise, I cannot change the date. So again, I did not change the date. Fortunately, this was being done. And when we were trying to agree on the date of 23, when we had the caucus, we discussed and we, everybody knows that I'm the one who moved the date.
So you are saying all these things, kuchita buttress the point, if there is also one of the people who wished this government well,
one of them, it was me, definitely.
Bitter rivals.
No, I am not bitter. I'm just stating my points very clear. I don't believe that it is current is not kukosi or kama zilikamara ndimo nakusonyeza kuti chincho la kwika chincho la kwika and ndi ntchito yanga ndichovuta kuti ndisunge chinthu cha chilungamo kuntima ndibwino kukwauza amalawa and ngati nabwera politics ndizinamiza amalawa ndiye politics indikanika chifukwa ndina kumauza chilungamo. Because a member of parliament, parliament, you are doing a national duty. And that national duty is what I'm doing. I'm not controversial. I'm just doing a national duty, which I'm called to do.
So, Munimbaria Tonse government?
No, the Kala opposition. I don't have a responsibility.
But I thought afford iri kuboma.
Afford ya ino kiri kuboma. Kwa eneo maganizo anga.
Yes.
Ndibe responsibility ndikalire kuboma. Responsibility yanga yoti ndikalire kumene ndikuona kuti ntchito yanga ndikukwanisa ndi ku opposition uko.
So bano boma litalowa la tonse motsogozera ndachakwera. mutapita ku parliament mumakhala kubomako
ndikhala
nthawi imeneyo
no sinakhaleko
simunakhaleko
No.
right from the beginning
atangosanga cabinet chani atangosuntha kupita kuja naona kuti zinthu izi situkhangati tili mmozi bwinobwino
right from day one
from day one nangoti ndikhale kayo ukuku ndiyembekezere ukuku ndiyembekezere kayo kufana naona kuti kumene tupita sindikukuona bwino
so muli ku opposition
ndikukhala ku opposition
koma chipani chanu cha Ford chili mboma
tiyaphungu awiri panopo wina ali kuboma ine ndikukhala ku opposition
chifukwa ndikuona kuti inu ndinovuta
akhoza kuti ndinovutadi koma achwa ndimakhulupirira kuti my freedom ya cautious should be properly taken care of.
Can you explain to me why muli ku opposition pamene chipani chanu cha Ford chili mboma
sinaiona agreement sindizo chimene ndizipanga kuboma ukoko ndilibe responsibility koma ukuku ku opposition kuti parliament ntchito yayikulu kwambiri ndi oversight ndi oversight yabwino imachokera kunoko kuti opposition chifukwa kulibe kuti huipe wanene kuti usalankhulezi pamene kuboma kuja azinena usalankhulezi pamene ine kunkaka ndi uchi sinafikeko
kunkaka ndi uinde kuti
sindili kuunduna sindili pa responsibility palibe munthu amene ndikumuziwa kuti
so nkulakwa kunena kuti munakwiya chifukwa chakuti sadakusankheni nduna
anthu akhoza kuganiza choncho
ndikufunsa inuyo
ine
yes or no
unduna ndimaufuna chifukwa nali ndi malingaliro kuti chiro chanaphunzira kwazi chanali ku MDC kapena ndikhoza kuthandiza
so pothandiza kuchita set date kutani munkafuna kuti
sizo zokha
pananinso zina
kuyenda msonkhano kwauza Malawi kuti ndivotera chakwera sinaenda soto kwambiri
okay so cabinet yatuluka and your name was not there ndi munakwiya mati sindikhalanso kuboma
no definitely I don't have a role to play kuside ya boma
so poyankha funso langa mudakwiya
ndisindiyankha funso ilolo
simuyankha
sindiyankha mwati pachonje foni kaya mwachonje
koma unduna you can competently say kuti unduna munkafuna
no unduna can competently serve ndi government yachakwera imene ilili I can help and I can help Malawians
mbali yake iti
ya unduna
unduna wake uti
no
ene
koma kupenda gwira ntchito kwambiri ine am an economist
okay
ndikhoza kuseva ntchito ngati cabinet yoti munthu muthandizira ngati president you need a very well developed matured managerial economist who can understand my issues koma ukaona kuti izizi apa pamene upita ndikuphombo umabwerako then naona ngati apa tikuperekezana kwina kwake and that's why koyambirira kwenikwentira ngoyamba after 2 weeks or 3 weeks nanena tu mwamba kutenga ndama kwa mwenye boma lamba sokonekera mwamba kuba
mwana ku parliament
nani naso parliament
andana akuza kuti mbweretse umboni simunabweretse
that zina is not necessary koma issue time judge siwo sina nene kuti kubwera anthu azamba kuona woka koma ayamba kuona woka kuti zijamanena chana ndiziti ndizizi
so a president anu Yeremiah Chihana anagwirizana nazo zote mukhale ku opposition
you see in Malawi nthawi zina timapanga mistake kuti you see Enoch is a human being my president azipani they are human beings tisamapange kupanga ngati kwa kuchita worship chifukwa timala kusira ndale we agree to have different views like now if he has a view also yochita support achakwera yes I'm supporting parliament I'm supporting achakwera when things are normal that I need to support him like anabwesa mabiro na kabu bwino na support achakwera but kuti kubwere emotion ya 23 June na support achakwera koma ngati zinthu zina zake so kugwirizana nazo you are better off staying in the opposition where you can play the rightful oversight role ndi mene ndikupanga pano
boma luwita kwa bwino kapena silupita kwa bwino
chilungamo mavuto alipo
we'll take a short break tibwera suposa chidwapo ngati mwango tipeza kumene mukuonera ndi Times exclusive ndi the honorable Yeremiah Chihana phungu wa nyumba ya malamulo wa Mzimba North tibwera suposa chidwapo
Wow, I think K-Pitch looks amazing on that wall.
The electric blue cuts it for me.
Come on, look at the tango, candy pink, burnt orange, okay, sweet lime.
Do you like what you see? You can dream it and live it. Download your Rainbow app today and begin the magic of transforming your home into a fabulous space. Rainbow Paints. Peace of mind. part of the deal.
Ngati mukungotipeza kumene tatha mtunda tili ndi the Honorable Yeremiah Chihana, phungu wa nyumba ya malamulo wa Mzimba North mu chipani cha Afford chimene chili kuboma kuma iwo amakhala ku opposition. Tikulandireni ku gawo lachiwiri komanso lomaliza la nkhani yathuyi. You have been accused kuti inuyo ndinu bomba la tinkenawo. Malizo bomba la tinkenawo? Ndiye kuti suicide bomber.
Suicide bomber.
Lankhula mabomba mu parliament. Koma akakuti ndibweretsa nomboni, simbweretsa.
Zimene maganizira inuyo. Umboni mabwereza. Koma nthawi zina maona amene zilili. Koyambira kweni. Mene timanena kuti amafuna umboni koma it was not necessary kuti upereke tumboni chifukwa tikana unonga boma la Chakwera when there was goodwill.
Okay.
Koma it was a warning shot kuti bwana watch out izizi kubwera. Olotapereke umboni izizi kubwera anamamba kuba. And zinthu izozo zinabwerati COVID funds inapita ntama za madonors kuti za COVID zinasokonekera audit kubwera zukanika utulusa bakali ntama za reserve bank once donated we can't account for it. You see ndiye zimangobwera zoka ndiye wewe mene wapereka bomba lichalo kuti wazo anthu amba kuba. If you I was saying was watch out, put control measures in place. If you can put control measures, you control.
Ndiye zimene munana nazo zinapherezera
zose in fact ango aliyese akuziwa kuti
ngati chani
si zinapezeke oro zinapezeka koma ndalama zinasokonekera za COVID zinasokonekera. Kuna bwana nkhani ya sata ife tikungoyangana tinapeleka warning. That was the first warning kuti watch out, there is this.
Munanena ku parliament. Okay.
Akuti bwesa mboni nthawi zina suyena kubwesa mboni because you are trying to warn them. And two napangaso warn this kuba kuku kwabwera ndi system bwana bwesa system yanu yoyendesera boma. We missed a big opportunity yochita check the system. And IMCP ndamena ndi moyo wakulu kwambiri chwa they could have gone back to the drawing board ya Dr. Banda kuti boma analisira bati zinthu zimene zasokonekera ndi ziti akanakhala 1 month or 2 months osasankha cabinet would actually call it self assessment of the democracy and what has gone wrong and what has gone amiss and where have we gone wrong. Akanapanga check izozo our MCP, especially Dr. Chakwera, he had a lot of goodwill. Everybody was ready to wait, and that goodwill we missed it.
So so you want to tell us that goodwill is no longer there?
No, we don't have.
Yeah, better good.
I think corruption theft. In fact, I don't know whether we should say corruption. Zimzambiri ndi direct theft akungoba khanga akubikisana alipampikisana wakuba. Utazatu hamaba na fesoti yenaonde. Gule wakuba.
Muni ndi umboni wazimene muni nazo.
Zimene zasokonekera tundinawo. Zimene ndakhandu kunena papa panopo ndimanena za fertilizer. Yeah. Because when we look at what is happening, ndrama zikone kuti zasokonekera zambiri. If you look at fuel, you can't even say what is happening. The systems have completely collapsed and they have opened a can of worms for stealing. We should have avoided this. And I don't know whether we still have the mistake which is here. Maybe we spoiled when we came in with Dr. Bakiri Muruzi. Bakiri was very, very cautious. Maybe because he worked with Dr. Banda. He might have some shortcomings. But I think when I look back and I reflect on other leaders, Bakiri amayoba kwambiri parliament. Even if he wanted to do something bad, like a third term, amapita nayo parliament. But after Bakiri, I think when he came Bingo and other leaders, it looks like parliament is not now a rubber stamp. Bakiri's parliament was very effective. The debate was open, transparent, people could speak their mind. But parliament now is going towards a controlled robot. You should endorse what is
Who is controlling parliament?
now the leader of the house, I think, is using threats, controlling parliament. I don't know, we may also have a mistake because the speaker is also the deputy secretary general of Malay Congress Party. She's compromised. That is
The speaker is compromised?
She's compromised because she cannot be a speaker at the same time she can be deputy secretary general of the party, ruling party. That is also a very big problem in parliament. So there's no freedom to debate, no freedom to talk. And if you talk...
But you are given Nhawi, your Lankula.
Well,
what kind of freedom
I used to have more platform to talk when I was the leader of Afford. But Chimwendo moved a motion, who as leader of the House, that Afford should no longer be speaking in Parliament, because even if we are two members, we are not enough to be speaking. Fine. Now I'm just considered as just another MP, but that was not correct, because the same Chihana, who was now a single member of Parliament, I was given 30 minutes, 20 minutes to speak in Parliament. Till I moved to this motion, till I allowed this government to come in. Then this government is coming in with spanners, tightening on me. This is wrong. It's against democracy. And what we are doing now is very much retrogressive in terms of democracy.
Agumanani mpata wolankhula.
Mpata wolankhula utimana. Zime mwane nazo di nima polisa mabomba. Si mabomba ya, it is just...
Because I'm talking about you are a loose cannon.
Well, things must be said. In a democracy, you must...
Zima kazo panda umboni.
No, which one?
Munanena kuti 30 billion ya bedwa. Adakuza kuti mbweretsa umboni.
I think it is highly technical, but nobody is umboni. That is that.
No, but the question is, ata kufunsani a speaker kuti mukatenge umboni. Munabweretsa?
Nakabeleka.
Koma adawukana umboni.
No. Have I read it? Have I given the Malawian the opportunity to speak what umboni it is? I have given them the evidence. I have given them the banks. There is a Chase bank account in US, Citibank in US, a bank in Iteke, a bank in UK, a bank in Germany, Munich, and all these banks have transacted. And the companies, we are only chasing Bakati food company. It's not only Bakati, there's also food line wholesalers. There's also Bavo Investment in US, which has an account with Chase Bank. But apart from that, what I said is, I think people have missed the point. What I said in Parliament, there is something which the Secretary to the Treasury said about the 25 billion, 4 billion for logistics, and that money is what we should track. And what I'm saying is, when the Treasury is expensing, some of them that are coming through guarantees. They guarantee companies to collect the money from a certain bank upon delivery of the fertilizer. And that is the bank also in the UK, which I did not even have the time to explain in Parliament. They never gave me the opportunity to explain. If they gave me the opportunity, all this evidence should have been explained, because some of them, especially bankable documents, that are highly technical. And I would love if the Parliament could give an opportunity, not only to me, they should give an opportunity to EcoBank, to the Reserve Bank Governor, to the Secretary to the Treasury. These are the key sectors which should be properly interviewed to give an overview, because it may not be 30 billion. The money which might be collateralized for fertilizer might be more than 30 billion.
So you still believe that 30 billion has been lost?
Misappropriated.
Misappropriated?
Yes. That's my conviction. And if we...
So mudabweretsa umboni ku Parliament. What happened?
Is it
Ndimafuna mudiyankhe nchichewa fusulumeni kuti amalawa ena akumvetsetseni bwino. Mwabweretsa umboni mu Parliament.
Chimene nachitika ndabwesa umboni mu Parliament. Nazuka kuti ndiperekere mu Parliament momo. A second deputy speaker nakana. Musaperekere umboni mu Parliament. Mukapereke umboni ku office kwa speaker. Kuti azikapita ukoko zisaoneke zifuna kuti khale muti munoma anthu amvera Malawi kuti umboni wake ndo mtundu wachi. Ndi ananduza no kaperekeni kwa ndani kwa speaker. Ine nanyamuka kapereka kwa speaker. Tinakhala mama wose muno kuzafika masana. Ndafika masana nachedwa chifukwa nali ndi ma interviews. Ndikulowa Parliament auti ya Parliament apanga suspend kutifuna TV za umboni wa inuyo. Chimene chinandabwisa anabwera leader of the house kuyamba kuwerenga kunena za umboni mena unena ndi waona kuti za 750 million. Ndalama zinachita transfer ndi ya muli ma euro dollars ma US dollars, and zimafunika kuti ndikufotokozereni. You cannot just read one page kuti ya umboni wa 7 million
So you went sana kuloleni kuti
Sana ndilole.
muerenge
Sana
umboni.
ndilole. In fact, Parliament should have given me an opportunity to lead what I have given to them as evidence. And as I've said, I'm a professional. I cannot get just umboni.
Chifukwa ife kunjaku tinamvano kuti akuthamangitsani ku nyumba ya malamulo akuwuzani kuti mukakhale mpaka pa Monday chifukwa choti mwabweretsa umboni wabodza.
Nkhani yoyo umboni wabodza kuti fetereza kulibe Malawi mulibe fetereza tu mno.
Sana kachita lonchi kudedza magali moto ndindi kumene.
Ndizimene mafuna ndipeleke ndondomeko ya bwino Malawi kuti fetereza ya AIP kwanire bwino kukufunika 400,000 metric tons of fertilizer. 400,000 metric tons of fertilizer. Malawi panopa za mtoki muli 52,000 metric tons. 52,000 metric tons, the whole southern region kulibe. And fertilizer mena ayamba kugawa pa central region achosa ku small fertilizer revolving fund yako chilimba ku Blantyre ayibweresa kuli Longwe. Ndi kumena ayamba kugawa fertilizer oyo. Ku south sana kugawa fertilizer. Sana ngatikula mphana panopo sana ayamba kugawa fertilizer ku south. Kumpoto napita mwa mafumu sana ayamba kugawa mafumu. Anda uphatikiza mafumu atatu ayachani kutakhale ndi fertilizer thumba limose. Ndi chimene chinayamba kundipasa sonkha kuti fertilizer chaka chino kulibe. Chinaso
But the minister azaulimi has assured dziko la Malawi kunena kuti zonse zili tayari, they are ready.
Akuganizira chimene akuganizira fertilizer wa kumoroko wa ulere kuti afika kanafika
Kuli wa Morocco sanafike
atiusa
Okay.
ndamene anatumiza 10,000 metric tons. Akuganiza fertilizer amene wachokera ku Russia chinazo chimene nazukira so parliament. Fertilizer amene wachokera ku Russia 20,000 amene abwe ndi WFP maybe afika mu January nayonso akuganiza kuti atithandiza. Kuma fertilizer chinazo chimene ndimazukira so parliament chiwai kuti ngati ndalama 30 billion ija sina unongeke. Chifukwa chani mukulisa fertilizer wa ulere umene akupasani ma donation aku Russia aku Morocco akupasani fertilizer wa ulere ni mukuwauza anthu amene atatenge fertilizer jo azilipira 10,000 15,000 mathumba awiri 30,000. If you multiply 30,000 ndi 2,500 beneficiaries, it is giving us 79 billion kwacha. Ndiye funso ndoti ndilili adimake kulibe ndalama izazika kwa account number ya mtundu wanje.
nakudatse kuladi manje.
Koma account
atse kuladi manje.
koma panopo ayamba kale kugawa ndalama izo zopita kwa account ite 79 billion imene azitenga ya 2,500,000 beneficiaries ma farmers akamali pira 30,000 if you multiply 79 close to 79 billion kwacha ndalama izo zizipita kuti azikapanga deposit for fertilizer ndi waulere koma fertilizer waulere ujayo ku parliament napanga so process budget 109 billion yoti ya AIP ndalama zijazi ndakali ku 39 billion 30 billion siku zero mene ili tifunika kuti tikhale pamodzi tipange consolidate what is happening. And chinaso chimene mukhoonera kuti ndinovuta koma ndikufotokoza icho chinaso chimene chikundi ngakhale ndikulankhula nanu chikundizunguza mwanena kuti adimake guru ndindana na automata aseke adimake adimake ili ndi shareholder wa adimake the Minister of Finance and 99%. Shareholder wina ndi chief executive amene anamthamangisa Jumbe 91% or any office ya chief executive. Minister of Agriculture has no local standard, no shareholder, they are not even a director to Adimak. Why did they close something which they are not party to it? That is a mistake. And this is another problem in our constitution. We have the statutory provisions of companies which were created by statutes. Like Adimak was created by statute in 1971. And the restructuring, Adimak has never gone back to parliament to be sustained as a statute. No Kima, Shimozumos. It is now a registered company. It has not been created by statute. ESCOM, it has not been created by statute. It's a company, limited company, guaranteed by shares. You go to Agrego. So these are confusing the macroeconomic phenomena of how to run a company and to run a country and a government, because they are no longer running on statutes. They are running on company laws. And those company laws are skewed towards government. So government is a silent player in a liberal market, which is a big mistake.
Kukonza kwake ndikutani.
Abandon all companies which have been created by guarantees. They must go back to parliament, so that parliament should have the right oversight power. ESCO must go back to parliament. Agrego abandoned. No Kima, they should be. In fact, there's no reason why we should have a no Kima. They should go.
You mean a Genco or a Greco?
A Genco.
Okay. A
Genco, a Greco, what they should all go, because they were created by as companies to be run by as private entities. But the statutory provisions which must provide for the creation of these companies from Parliament, this has not taken place. And that's why there's this fraud. Well, even oversight, even whether you say OPC, the chief secretary is a shareholder, is a chairperson, that is all wrong. Because these have been created by statutory provision, company laws. They have not been created by Parliament. And then here you come, you say, okay, because they have been created as a company, then the chairperson of Nokim is chief secretary. Why? Any reason? What is the mandate that comes to you, to brings you to the chief secretary to be the principal chairperson of Nokim, chairperson of Ejengo? That provision is not available. You cannot even go and regulate ESCOM because it's now under company laws. Oh, there are judgments in court, but they're not being followed. We should go back to the drawing board. These companies must be created by statutes.
And the chief secretary, the secretary to the president and cabinet now is aware of all what you're talking about?
They may not be aware, but this is maybe. I have told you that I was at MDC, which was created by the statutes. Companies that are created by the statutes must have even borrowing, even their liquidation or borrowing must be done by Parliament. But you find that Nokima is over borrowing. But is over borrowing on behalf of Malawians.
On its own?
On its own.
Okay, without Parliament?
Without Parliament.
Okay.
You go to Admark, they're borrowing, they're investing in Alliance Capital without Parliament. You go to ESCOM, they're borrowing without Parliament. They're getting funds without Parliament approval. There are no statutory mandate which is coming from Parliament to authorize them to borrow. Or they are borrowing. To me, it is null and void and illegal. Even Admark, whatever happened to Admark, whoever decided to say Admark should be closed, it was wrong because it's narrow and void. Because I think section of the Constitution, chapter 5, if not section 5, any law that is not incongruent to any other law or whatever is happening, which is not incongruent, they are not is in contradiction with the Constitution, that law must be narrow and void. So what happened on Admark, closure of Admark, because you are closing something which is under company law, it is narrow and void because it's not in.
Coming back to Nkania ku Parliament.
Yes.
Nkania anthu akuba amene akubera mwenye simunabweretse evidence.
Umboni unabwera pamaketi aliyesa kuziwa za sata, kuziwa za mbili kuziwa nkhani za mbili zosayamba. So nthawi zina as a politician you don't have to ndabweresa paper ile umboni wake ndio machitidwe aziko kuti amangosonyeza okha kuti zinthu zamba usokonekera.
Nkhani ya 30 billion imene munanena kuti 30 billion yasowa
ndabweresa
koma akunena kuti it's not a valid document.
They have not read the documents. They have not checked the documents.
Do you think they deliberately do that?
First of all, I don't want to go too far at times.
Yes.
But check the competence of the leader of the house. Is a community-based person. Can he understand the technical issues about the banking, transfers, management of funds, international finance? These need serious minds. When I was saying, you might have kept on saying, why do you want to go into government? I wanted to help government on a serious note. When government needs serious sausage, we need to do sausage to change the image of this government. We need to help Chakwera. People might have taken advantage of him because he's from a Christian background, but we need serious minds. I don't think leader of the house is really a capable person to manage the affairs of this country. This country needs serious brains. Serious brains.
Are you a serious mind?
Very serious. I'm not a simple person. Very, very serious. Actually, even
nanga anthu amati mwina nthawi zina munthu wanu usugwira ndino kuyankhula kwa masiku anu ongolubwalubwa ongolankhula figment of imagination.
Well. I think when you are living in hyper thinking and when things are getting too wrong, you try to think and roll your brain so that how can we engage the society so that we can help one another to change where we're going. Definitely everybody knows where we're going, it is wrong. You need to engage serious minds, and I think in a hypersonic.
You're thinking
hypersonic.
Hypersonic?
Yes, trying to think, wow, what should happen to Malawi to save Malawi?
Are you going back to the government bench pretty soon?
No, Parliament is a collective responsibility. It's a government. Parliament is a government.
Yeah.
All of us there is a government. If you sit on the other side and the other one is sitting on the other side, it's just opposing benches. But we're trying to bring wisdom collectively to help and support the president.
You wanted to run for the African Parliament?
Yes, I did. I actually did run.
What happened? You didn't succeed.
No, I was getting that position. I actually studied the structural system of the Pan-African Parliament. I understood I was the chairperson. I lobbied for the endorsement on one of the biggest protocol of AU on rotation. And I championed that, and we successfully lobbied the Addis Ababa office, and they accepted and they implemented the principle of rotation. But the principle of rotation was supposed to be implemented to the full, even to regional caucuses. PAP is composed of 5 caucuses: Southern Caucus, Eastern, Central, West, and North Africa. And these 4 organs, they constitute what we call PAP. Now, the 10 for the rotation was meant for after Tanzania, I think East Africa, Central Africa, West Africa. Now it was the 10 for North and the Southern Africa. And I could see that the advantage was to lobby the North Africa not to put a candidate, and to make sure that the Southern Africa puts a candidate. In the Southern Africa, we have 3 blocks, or maybe 2 blocks. We have the block of the, which is skewed towards the Russian bloc, that is Zimbabwe and South Africa. And we have the other block which is skewed towards the Western ideology, which is Malawi, Zambia, Eswatini, Botswana. I was in the block of the Western ideology, Western group. And I had the very good support, and I was winning. Definitely I was winning.
Did Malawi support you?
No.
Why?
There was a big misunderstanding. And to make things worse, actually Malawi made they don't understand international diplomacy.
Malawi doesn't understand international diplomacy.
Especially the speaker. She never came to understand the international diplomacy. After lobbying across, I think I moved close to about 16 countries lobbying, and I was really properly sponsored.
Who sponsored you?
Different donors, and in Europe, I don't have to mention, but it is a privilege to me. But even West Africa, they sponsored me. But at an African level, I was going to win. At a regional level, I was actually hoping on the Malawian. I had support from the president. I don't have to hide. I used to say bye, and I'm taking leave. The president gave me a go ahead, but the speaker did not understand it, and even my brother Enoch didn't understand it. They went to start supporting Zimbabwe, leaving their own national. So when I went on to the poll, when we were about to have the elections, I was withdrawn last minute because the speaker wrote a letter to say that they are supporting Zimbabwe and they are not supporting Malawian. To make things worse, the speaker spent money, parliament money, by sending 5 members of parliament and the second deputy speaker to make sure that they blocked me from standing. But the move was difficult to block me till the speaker herself asked the clerk of parliament, Fiona, to write a letter. Again, if you want evidence, I will give you.
You have everything. You have evidence?
Everything. I have the letters, everything.
Okay.
And even when she's telling Malawians that I did not lobby her, she's making a big mistake, a big lie. I wrote actually the AU chair in Senegal that I'm standing. I wrote the speaker. I wrote the clerk of parliament. Everybody was aware, but they just didn't want me to be the president of Pan-African Parliament. They missed a big opportunity, which cannot come back to Malawi the next 20, 30 years, because this was just the 10th for Malawi.
Why do you think Malawi didn't support you?
At times it is petty jealousy. At times it is things that happen behind the scenes. She's alleging that I started late, but I did not start late because I notified her. There was a delegation which also came to see her. Fortunately, there was also a delegation which also came to see her. After seeing her, they went to take leave of the
So you were barred from running?
I was barred from running, last minute. Just last minute, when we were about to start the voting, the speaker wrote a letter.
If you had been allowed to go to run, you think you could have won?
I won. Actually, I was winning, because the Zimbabwe person is there are two scenarios. Zimbabwe should not even have fielded a candidate, but Malawi did not put a position, because Zimbabwe has been in the bureau for the last, from 2005 up to now. And Malawi has never been in the bureau. Zambia has never been in the bureau. Botswana has never been in the bureau. Eswatini has never been in the bureau. Lesotho has never been in the bureau. This is just a greed deployed by Zimbabwe that everything belongs to Zimbabwe, which is a mistake. Malawi can manage such kind of leadership. It's not for Zimbabwe. It's not for South Africa.
Unfortunately, Ntawi Yaditera, you also talked about corruption. What do you think is the solution? How should we deal with corruption? You are saying Cuba. It's not even corruption, but it's Cuba. How should we deal with this novice?
Chakwera inherited a system. Earlier on said, akanabwerera ku system imene anasiya kamuzu.
Okay.
Kuti anasiya chani zinthu zimayenda bwanji. Satawina sanapange reflection kuti abwerere ku system ichayi.
Okay.
Chachiwiri, Malawi imafunika political decision. Chakwera should have made a decision.
Decision on what?
To change the system, anganachosa all the procurement echelon of the ODPP, clears from ODPP, whatever. All those were not easy making. Anganabwera system yakamuzo and look at what were the institutional challenges. How did he manage the system?
Okay.
Then how did he manage the approvals? Then how did he bring about? Why did these other institutions come into play? So he got a system which was rotten from the middle management, and he needed to check on those middle management. In a board step, he should have just fired them and pay them because it was cheaper to fire to start all the systems back to Kamuzu time. Okay. And bring that story even for 5 months. Okay. And then put the other problem which he had, I think, human resource. He didn't have the Department of Human Resource, which was not properly put in place. Okay. Because it would have been checking the capacity of the people he's recruiting. Okay. And for what purpose? If he's taking them from retirement, is it a layer skill? He never did that. He didn't have the time. He started just recruiting everybody. And I think the influence of the church is also very bad where it belongs to, because they have never managed a government. He needed to marry experience of running a government, and those who would do much better, merit-based. But again, it's the Department of Human Resource, which has been very weak under Chakwera's government. And instead of promoting merit and promoting capability and reviewing where the systems could be taken on board, because you cannot change the system at the hospital. You would be killing lives. But governance systems can be changed anytime. You cannot, we went into a government without knowing what kind of the productive skills that we need to change the economic outlook of this country. For example, if I was, a minister in Minister of Lands, why is the money which is for development lying idle? Let's go back and discuss with Press Trust, put all the funds into production, and not production based on the tradition, production based on industrialization. So we abandoned the cotton processing, production and processing. We abandoned the groundnut cooking oil production and processing. We abandoned. All these could have been put into play to give synergies to forex management and how we can cure the challenges of forex. We never did that. Went into the fuel. You started using the same system of TPP of how to buy fuel with the same chief executive. You think this could have been managed. During Dr. Banda time, this was not available. Why did we maintain the same system? That's why some people are saying, I even said it at times when I was interviewed, solve the paradox of fuel. You solve the problem of the economy. But there's 30%, which is priceless theft. Remove 30% on the fuel. And last time I challenged that price could come down for fuel to 265 kwacha per liter. If we slow the price of fuel, you are actually increasing the productivity of the economy. ESCOM, remove. During ESCOM time, when I had ESCOM, we were having 15 kwacha per kilowatt. Immediately, Genco came in, the bill for ESCOM went to 45. It means you are killing industry which are related to energy. You are killing the food industry. You are killing the processing industry because energy has become too expensive. So we never sat down to check on the systems, and the human resource allocation has been very poor. And he's allocating the human resource which does not belong to Chakwera. He's allocating the human resource which belongs to DPP, to another part, to the previous ruling party. And now it is too late because now he's fighting that system. The system also has already adopted to his managerial skills. to do it now, it is just a cracker. It will not be as easy as what you might think.
Do you have any presidential ambitions?
No, not necessarily presidential.
But what?
But I think I would love if somebody. I will be very frank with you. I think at the moment, now we need a president like me.
Like who?
Like me.
Who does what?
To do difficult decisions and to make difficult decisions.
A loose cannon?
Where? As long as
a loose cannon?
Who will deliver fertilizer to the common man. You know, you must deliver the fertilizer. This fertilizer, if it is not delivered, Malawi is heading.
What about those that have accused you that you spend a lot of time on Pan-African Parliament and not necessarily on Malawi? Because those accusations have been leveled against you.
You know, it is very good. For me, let me tell you what I've done. I have learned a lot of things from Pan-African Parliament. I've learned, I think, about career diplomacy, diplomacy, like the challenge of fuel, the challenge of fertilizer. I've learned that Malawi doesn't have the capacity to do these things. But under international arbitrage, financial arbitrage, you can lobby countries. We missed during the election, immediately Chakwera came into power, we missed the government of Germany to lobby effectively. We would have done much more with the government of Germany, because now they're concentrating in agriculture and local governance. We should have done much more. We stopped the rural secondary centers program, urbanization, containment of urbanization. All these things would have put our government program together.
What about the presidency of AFOD? Are your eyes set on that as well?
I'm looking at the national issues.
Not AFOD?
No. I think I'm sure. I think I'm going into the presidency. But how I'll go into the presidency, I don't know whether we'll discuss with the president of MCP, whether we'll discuss with the president of AFOD. But
what do you mean when you're saying you're going into the presidency?
I'm looking at the North, not only looking at AFOD. We should be looking at having a serious block.
Okay.
Which, but you see, when you're talking about the North, what about Lower Shire? That's why I think I am imagining...
Your views on federalism?
My views on federalism, they still stand. It is just to improve on efficiency levels of managing the economy and managing projects. We need a federal government. That is, I still stand by that.
Honorable Yeremiah Chihana, we wish we had more time, but as you can see, time runs fast when you're having a serious conversation.
Thank you.
Your final thought for tonight. I want you to look at that camera. Malawis are watching. They may have forgotten everything that we have discussed. One thing that they should sleep over it tonight. What is it?
Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, I am a Malawian. Malawians, I am a Malawian, I'm one of you. I get concerned when poor people are being trampled on. Let us deliver fertilizer. We're heading for a crisis next year. A hunger-related crisis will slow down the economy in a bigger way. And we cannot afford to subsidize food because we want to feed our people. Can we make sure that we make all inputs to production this year? They must be available to all Malawians, regardless of region, tribe, race. Let us deliver to our people. Let me also take this opportunity. The staff monitored program, which is coming with the IMF, is a welcome development, though it will be managed by the IMF personnel. Let's welcome it and let's use it for the benefit of Malawians. And on a lighter note, I would urge Dr. Lazarus Chakwera to take charge of Ministry of Agriculture. That is the hub of the economy, and that is when ADMAC will come back in a proper way. The way we're doing things here, just to please you, it is not proper. Let us serve Malawians. We are servant leaders to Malawians. To my people in the constituency, I am crying for you. We need fertilizer for production so that you don't actually scramble for food next year. You are our voters. When I'm moving out and I'm moving motions in Parliament, it is for the good of Malawians, and more specifically to save you in my constituency. It is not for my personal greed. I'm serving Malawians in my best interest. Mind you, this country belongs to all of us. I don't have any other country. This is my country, and I believe in my country. Malawi can do better. Thank you very much.
Honorable Yeremiah Chihana, quite intriguing, I must say, hearing you talk tonight. We wish we had more time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, on that note, we conclude this week's edition of Times Exclusive. I had a candid discussion with the Honorable Yeremiah Chihana, Member of Parliament for Mzimba North. My name is Brian Banda from the administrative capital of Malawi, Lilongwe. Thanking you for joining us tonight, and goodbye.